Hello and welcome back for another episode of Patriotic Housewife. You guys, we are about to jump into it. I just found out that TPUSA actually went on the Charlie Kirk show and addressed Candace Owens' podcast personally by Blake Neff. We are just going to go straight into the footage and watch together. Let me add this to the stage. I cannot believe that they finally came out and said something. Let's listen.
We wanted to use this segment at the top of this hour to say something important, something very important. For the past 2.5 months, there is a topic that has flooded our Freedom inbox. It has been nonstop on social media, but which we have almost totally avoided on this show. You probably already know what I'm talking about, which shows just how ubiquitous it has been. Ever since Charlie's murder, Candace Owens has leveled a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for this show. She has made them against some of Charlie's closest friends and against some of his most dedicated employees. She has suggested that Michael McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died, and stayed silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie. She has suggested Michael is not his real name. It is. I have seen his birth certificate myself. She has called it suspicious that Mikey's wife, who works at Turning Point, helped plan the campus tour event where Charlie was murdered, which she didn't, by the way. She doesn't work on campus events. Candace has suggested the Utah Valley University event was unusual and its details suggested a, quote, inside job. She has claimed that foreign aircraft have followed ERIKA KIRK around the country and that Turning Point has lied about this happening. She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting ERIKA to take over for him if he died. She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to ensure that he died. She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera. She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses male interns. She has suggested that TPUSA faith-affiliated pastors, like theologian Frank Turek, who we'll have on in a moment, and Pastor Rob McCoy, are part of a military, quote, infiltration of Turning Point, either because they are veterans or because they have family members who are. Even if not everyone has been named specifically, though, Candace has effectively tarred everyone here with complicity in Charlie's death by repeatedly saying he was, quote, betrayed by, quote, everyone. She has said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing the truth. She has made claims of financial impropriety and fraud at Turning Point, adding up into the millions of dollars, which, again, is not true. Charlie made sure the organization was audited by a third party every year. He personally reviewed and he signed off on every expense report, and literally every single bill paid by the organization down to a single United States dollar. We have never missed a 990 deadline. Candace has made other stranger allegations involving French paratroopers in maroon shirts, Egyptian Air Force planes flying out of Provo, Utah, and potential underground assassins traveling through unseen tunnels. At one point in early November, she started wildly throwing suspicion on members of Utah Valley's soccer team for wearing hoodies. I could go on. There is always something new coming up, and none of it ever pans out because from the start, there has been nothing there. The attacks and allegations from Candace are either lies or they are innuendos thrown around with a total reckless disregard for the truth so that Candace can manipulate and string along an audience of people who don't realize they are being played. Instead of being able to grieve properly after one of the most heinous murders in American history, a murder many of us had to witness, my friends have had to endure harassment from people who have gotten whipped up by what Candace is saying. In fact, I would say we have suffered more harassment from these people than we have from Antifa supporters who overtly celebrate Charlie's murder. And just like a lot of those Antifa members, many of these people take this delight in how gross and unpleasant they can be. What our friends have had to endure is not funny and it's not insignificant. It is evil. I have seen it. For months, we have received hundreds, thousands, I suspect, emails and calls asking us to respond. People have wanted us to invite Candace on the show. But for a long time, our approach was to say nothing. We did that for several reasons. First, we thought that her prevarications were so absurd that nobody would believe them. We shouldn't have to answer questions about secret tunnels or Egyptian Air Force planes. That sort of thing is just, it's beneath contempt to respond.
Guys, I'm so sorry that I'm pausing in the middle of this, but before I lose my train of thought, first off, here we go with the gaslighting of you are not to ask questions, take the narrative, shut up, swallow it. We shouldn't even have to come out and address these rumors. We shouldn't have to come out and say anything at all because these are nonsensical. It has been proven that there are tunnels underground throughout the US. That has been proven. I don't know where he lives or like what planet these people are on. This is crazy. And we have to backtrack 2 seconds because I can't believe. Hold on, just let me play this because this is crazy.
First, we thought that her prevarications were so absurd that nobody to invite Candace on the show. But for a long time, our approach was to say nothing. We did that for several reasons.
To say nothing because she's backed you into a corner to where now you guys have to say something. If you guys should have been addressing this stuff all along. For them to say that they don't have to defend themselves or they shouldn't have to answer to things, you are in the public eye, Blake Neff. You guys are accepting people's money. Yes, you do have to answer questions when you are taking people's money. What kind of delusion is this? I can't even believe what we're watching. What are we? What? I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna let this play, and I'm gonna try to remember all the commentary I have because right now I'm so. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. And Candace is gonna blow a gasket on her show today.
First, we thought that her prevarications were so absurd that nobody would believe them. We shouldn't have to answer questions about secret tunnels or Egyptian Air Force planes. That sort of thing is just, it's beneath contempt to respond to. The second reason we've said so little, though, is because there's a good rule of thumb, which Charlie followed. Do not feed the trolls. Focus on the mission. Reviving America, uplifting young people, making heaven crowded. Don't give air to people who want to tear you down and sow discord. Lastly, we didn't respond because Charlie always viewed Candace as a friend, and we were holding out hope that she would return that friendship and stop what she was doing. But a week from now, it's going to be 3 months since Charlie's murder. Candace has not changed her behavior. She has continued to spread falsehoods about Charlie's friends, and she continues to concoct new ones about new people. She's using these falsehoods to enrich herself while dividing the conservative movement at an absolutely critical time for this country. And far too often, we here have heard from ordinary people, people who loved Charlie and who Charlie loved so much in return. These people have expressed the worry that we are staying silent out of cowardice or as some sort of tacit admission that some of the attacks are true. Neither is the case. Our silence has never been, and it will never be, equal to complacency or approval. Still, we decided Charlie would not allow this to go on. Charlie was not a coward. Charlie was a fighter. Charlie would not allow someone to spread lies about the people closest to him with impunity. And he would feel ashamed if other people were stepping up to defend his friends while he never did so himself. Candace has mentioned several times that the ball is in our court. So here's what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court. Our motivation for doing this is not out of any obligation to Candace. It is about honoring Charlie. We feel a deep responsibility to protect his legacy, his work, and the truth. I feel that. I owe Charlie everything in my life. I feel it immensely. And that is why we feel compelled to speak clearly and openly now. We'll have more on this in the near future. We wanted to use this segment at the top of this hour to say something important, something very important. For the past 2.5 months, there is a topic that has flooded our freedom inbox. It has been nonstop on social media, but which we have almost totally avoided.
Okay, so that was I started writing post-it notes, you guys, because I can't even believe. First off, I can't stand Blake Neff, and for him to have to come out and address this is like giving me my blood is boiling. Okay, I don't even know where to start. Okay, hold on. Let me get my bearings, you guys, because I'm what is going on? Okay, so my first thing is why do we want Candace in person? Why do you need her in person to go over this stuff? Like why can't she be on a podcast like how me and Ryan Matta did our interview? Why can't she stay where she's at? Why do you guys want her at TPUSA? That's weird. Why do you want her out of her house? Why do you want to know where she is? After all the exposing that she's done, all the talking, you guys are so mad at her, and now you want her to come in person. Come, let's sit down and talk. I think not. Probably not safe for her, I would imagine. I wouldn't be doing that if it was me. The next post-it note I have a question about is the TPUS faith that he's talking about, that this is not of God, and we're trying to, send a message of about God. Your TPUSA faith preacher, sorry guys if my English is all crazy right now because I'm worked up. There has not been not one time where they're standing up there not talking about politics and propaganda. There is nothing Christian about anything TPUSA faith is saying and doing. So, Blake Neff, what the hell is that about? Let's throw that note away. Gosh, the hypocrisy, the blatant lying. Literally, it's like they want us to listen to what they have to say, you guys, and they think that if they say it enough times, it'll just freaking brainwash us and that we're dumb. Okay? Um, how can they say that, Charlie would say, "Oh," and this is the other thing, guys. This is the part of the brainwashing that's really crazy. They do this to make you feel bad. Charlie would want you to donate. Charlie would not want to feed into the trolls. Charlie didn't feed into the trolls. Charlie said, focus on the mission, right? Focus on the mission. Excuse me? Excuse me. What else did she? Oh, make heaven crowded. They gotta rub that in there. Now, of course, we all want to make heaven crowded, but like this is what I'm saying. It's like the brainwashing. Like, don't ask questions. Don't accuse people. Don't insinuate people because Charlie wouldn't want that. That's not what Charlie would want. They addressed this because they hoped Candace would stop. They hope if they just ignored her like a child that it would stop. But because you guys were all overwhelming them with podcasts and emails and mail and calls, and now all of a sudden they have to come out and they have to try to shut you up because this is what Charlie would want. He wouldn't want all of this, right? He would be ashamed. He would be so ashamed at what's going on right now, you guys. So just stop. You peasants, stop asking questions. You're peasants. Stop. Listen to the smart folk. Listen to the rich folk. We know what's best for you. Stop asking questions. Stop asking questions. Right? And I'm going to share the screen again because I just want to go back because I can't even keep up with what I just listened to because, like I said, it sent me spiraling. And I'm one of those people when I get worked up, like I all of a sudden go blink for a second. So let me see what he said here.
At Turning Point Action and people who work for this show. She's made them against some of Charlie's close, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died.
By the way, a lot of these accusations, she has never come out for fact and said, hey, so and so did this. So and so did this. So and so is this. So and so is that. That has never been said. She has never said Rob McCoy had anything to do with Charlie's murder. That was never said. They can't even. And here's the thing: if she really did say these things, here's one of my big questions, you guys. And I'm going to take this down for a second. If she really did accuse people of these things, why aren't you suing her? right? These are very big accusations, right, Blake Neff? These are very serious things to be saying about somebody, okay? So if she actually said these things, right, on her podcast, because you guys are talking about she's been speaking on the internet, she's been speaking on her podcast, right? Why aren't you suing her? Why are we coming out with this little message to the general public to stop asking questions? Tisk, tisk. Don't listen to Candace Owens because Charlie wouldn't want you to. And Charlie's not here to defend himself either. So I don't like that. Like, do not talk about the dead like that because they are not here to defend themselves. So you don't get to say anything. And I don't trust Blake Neff, who was working for Tucker Carlson, who was fired for racist comments. And he told us all that if we ask questions, we're porn addicts, you guys. We're like porn addicts, okay? I don't believe a word that's coming out of this bald man's head. Oh gosh. Anything he has to say. Blake Neff, his existence pisses me off. Sorry. I don't like to I always said I would not, I try to watch my language, but I don't know how this doesn't aggravate people to where to high heaven. This is crazy. So why aren't we suing her? Why are we not suing? Okay, so now let's go back and let's play this again for another second because I just cannot get over. This was their way
and
of
stayed
talking.
silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie. She has suggested Michael is not his real name. It is. I have seen his birth certificate myself.
Oh, okay, you've seen his birth certificate, so we should believe you, right?
She has called it suspicious that Mikey's wife
By the way, he's been caught in lies. They've all been caught in lies. So why on earth would we believe anything any of you have to say?
who works at Turning Point, helped plan the campus tour event where Charlie was murdered, which she didn't, by the way. She doesn't work on campus events. Candace has suggested the Utah Valley University event was unusual and its details suggested a, quote, inside job. She has claimed that foreign aircraft have followed ERIKA KIRK around the country and that Turning Point has lied about this happening.
And he just brought up ERIKA KIRK, and now thinking about this, she has said if ERIKA KIRK came out and told her to stop talking, that she would stop. Where's ERIKA KIRK? Why are you talking and why are we not hearing from ERIKA KIRK that she wants this to stop? Then none of this is true. There is nothing to see here. Candace, you are smearing my husband's legacy. Stop it now. If you were going to send someone out and there was not going to be lawsuits for defamation and slander and all the things that you guys are claiming that Candace did because you don't want discovery involved, then where the hell, pardon my language, is ERIKA KIRK? I don't want to hear this message from anyone but ERIKA KIRK. I don't.
She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting ERIKA to take over for him if he died.
Accused you of lying. You guys have literally proven that you've lied. There is footage that we can roll back because you guys just can't shut up where you guys are lying and contradicting yourselves. You guys did that yourself.
She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to
There's footage of that.
ensure that he died. She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera.
Again, there's footage of that and different stories. And if it's the truth, why do we have different stories?
She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses.
Tyler Boyer is from Hollywood. Look up Tyler Boyer's background, guys. I promise you. Maybe I'll do a video on it. He is not a good person. I'm going to try to control myself. He is not a good person. There was a girl at Turning Point that talks about being essayed while she was there. She put in an HR notice report and it was ignored, and they basically allegedly threatened her to not go to the police and everything else, and they did nothing with it because it got into Tyler Boyer's hands. So are we now going to call victims liars? Are we pulling a Cash Patel where there's no evidence that Epstein ever ST'd girls? even though we have victims who won in court, who won money in a civil lawsuit. So now we're going to discredit the people that have been victimized. Are we serious right now? We're serious right now. This is really being said.
Male interns. She has suggested that TPUSA faith-affiliated pastors, like theologian Frank Turek, who we'll have on in a moment, and Pastor Rob McCoy, are part of a military, quote, infiltration of Turning Point, either because they are veterans or because they have family members who are. Even if not everyone has been named specifically, though,
by the way, don't you think it's funny that they're having like all these people? They just had someone before him who was at who'd they say, Mikey? And then now they're going to have Frank Turek after they do their little speech right here. That's interesting.
Candace has effectively tarred everyone here with complicity in Charlie's death by repeatedly saying he was, quote, betrayed by, quote, everyone. She has said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing.
I don't know about you guys, but I never heard her say that his friends were going to have her murdered. Where'd they see that? Where'd they hear that? Let me know in the comments, guys. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for all this? Am I making sense? Is this real?
The truth. She has made claims of financial impropriety and fraud at Turning Point, adding up in.
Sir, there are plenty of people on the internet who have combed through your financials, and there's a lot of money missing. I know that.
The millions of dollars, which again is not true. Charlie made sure the organization was audited by a third party every year. He personally reviewed and he signed off on every expense report and literally every single bill paid by the organization.
I'm just going to stop watching, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This guy is not even worth watching. I just wanted to show you guys that they came out and they addressed Candace Owens out in the open. I can only imagine what we're going to get from Candace tonight. I really hope that she plans to still go on, but I had to get this out to you guys because this is like yeah, I don't even know what else to say. If I keep talking, I might let a swear word slip because this is I'm not sure I even know what else to say about it, to be honest. So let me know what you guys think about Blake Neff's little address here. I wonder, allegedly, who coerced him to go out there and do this little speech, whatever this was. This wasn't even really reasoning with people. This was shut up and stop asking questions because we said so. Right? That's what that was to me. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Like, share this video, comment. Please, let's spread it far and wide. Look at these clowns. I would not, in my personal opinion, be donating to TPUSA anymore because their faith division does not talk about faith. They talk about political propaganda. And I just don't trust any of these people, and I would not be funding that place. Personal opinion. Do what you want. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next one.